Hello everyone and welcome to this week's game devlog on The Stars Our Destination, a turn-based strategy flight game. This was a tough week due to learning new things the same way one drinks from a fire hose, and also life and work and being an adult and all that. So I mostly experimented with the potential art pipeline for both shaders and 3D models in Blender. Let's get into it. The never-ending battle continues. I've been looking into many different resources, tutorials, and whatever else to increase my technical art stat, as it were. The look I'm trying to aim for is something close to Killer 7 or No More Heroes. Head! Simple flat colors and hard shading. Getting it to work in 3D is easy, not so much for 2D. Part of it, from what I gather anyway, depends on how light intensity, textures, and shadows are calculated. I've been looking into a lot of toon shader tutorials and trying to piece parts together from other shaders to hopefully get what I want, eventually. The handful of shader resources I've been looking into, in case you're curious, include, but not limited to, Alan Zucconi's wonderful tutorials on his own website, his book, Shader Laboratory, wikibooks on CG Unity programming, and the Book of Shaders, which you can actually edit the code in your browser to try out. So much gray. I was sick of the old cubic model that I've been using for the longest time now, and since learning Blender on the side, I wanted to try my hand at making a decent ship, starting with using the R-Wing from Star Fox 64 as reference for a potential pipeline. Using the grid technique, I would start by drawing the top part on paper, and then the side view with the same measurements, and match them up as best I can, then putting them into Blender. After a lot of trial and error with materials and an eventual move to Blender 2.8, I got a decent looking R-Wing. A step down from the R-Wing from the original Star Fox if I'm being brutally honest, then dragging it into Unity. The point is it works. I could easily switch out the models with minimal logic changes and headaches. Seeing it in action now looks a little awkward. Maybe it's the lack of exhaust particles at the end, and the lack of wing animations when turning. I'd be happy to hear other suggestions. Otherwise, the next plan of action, on the art side at least, is to practice creating more mechanical vehicles, texturing, and materials since the model in the scene is a little darker than usual. I hope to get more programming related things accomplished next week. Working on a separate discipline is great to refresh the mind a bit, but it's a long, agonizing uphill battle when learning to be a technical art novice. That'll be it for this week. Subscribe or feel free to join a Discord server if you like what I'm doing. Let me know if you have any questions or feedback. Take care of yourselves and have a good week.